the week's top stories, and mining information. SMR News.
Sponsored by Westmoreland Flint, IQ Communications, Roddy Maker, Suman, and Holness.
As junior miner Duluth Metals scored a major triumph with the announcement of Chilean copper miner Antofagasta as a joint venture partner in the Nokomis project in Minnesota, Minnesotans are still debating the future of mining in their state. London-based Antofagasta plc announced Thursday that it plans to acquire a 7% stake in Duluth Metals for $11.6 million, as well as become a 40% joint venture partner in the Nokomis copper-nickel PGM deposit, located in the Duluth complex in Minnesota. In a news release, Antofagasta called Nokomis a potentially world-class base and precious metal deposit. Antofagasta has agreed to fund a total of $130 million of further exploration and feasibility study over a 3-year period. Upon completion of a bankable feasibility study, Antofagasta has the option to acquire an addition of 25% of Nokomis. If the joint venture partners decide to build a mining operation at Nokomis, Antofagasta has agreed to provide Duluth Metals with an additional $39 million to cover the junior company's share of subsequent project expenditures. Currently, Nokomis project costs are estimated at $1.3 billion. This has been Sally Chavika for SMR News in the US.
Indian government is considering a proposal to restrict mining by private sector companies in tribal areas in a move that could severely impact investments of domestic and foreign majors like Rio Tinto, BHP Billiton, Vale, Sesagova and MSPL. The latest version of legislation on India's mining sector, known as the Mines and Mineral Development and Regulation or the MMDR Bill, proposes making large parts of mineral-rich areas in India out of bounds for private and foreign companies. Massey Energy Company, a US coal producer, has signed a deal with India's Jindal Steel and Power Limited to bid for the development and operation of underground coal mining projects in India, Mongolia, Australia, the US and elsewhere. Don L. Blankenship, Massey's chairman and CEO, said, "We expect that by combining our technical expertise in underground mining with JSPL's broad portfolio of international assets and businesses, we will be able to establish profitable joint ventures that will both extend Massey's coal producing opportunities and provide lower cost, more stable energy supply for Jindal's planned global expansion." Under the agreement, Jindal will identify underground coal mining projects in India and other countries and obtain necessary licenses, permits and approvals from the respective government authorities. Massey will oversee the development of underground mine projects, plans and provide technical manpower and project management. India and Mongolia on Wednesday decided to operationalize their pact on civil nuclear cooperation by assisting in capacity creation for Ulaanbaatar's nuclear sector and considering the manner in which India would begin uranium mining in Mongolia. At the second meeting of the India-Mongolia Joint Committee on Cooperation, jointly chaired by Minister of State for External Affairs Praneeth Kaur and Mongolian Minister of Education and Science Yangdongyin Udganbayar, Mongolia invited Indian participation in its uranium mining sector, including joint ventures and investment. Mongolia also welcomed Indian participation in the mining of coal, coking coal and other minerals in Mongolia. India offered a short course on radiography for Mongolian personnel at the Baba Atomic Research Center in Mumbai and assistance to set up a regulatory and radiation protection framework in Mongolia. Both countries had signed the Memorandum of Understanding on Cooperation in the field of peaceful use of radioactive minerals and nuclear energy during Mongolian President's visit in September last year. Both sides also decided to update bilateral ties to the level of a comprehensive partnership. India's Steel Ministry has sought Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's help to to secure permits to begin work on a planned $12 billion POSCO steel plant this year after land disputes stalled the project first announced in 2005. The minister wants this project to be done as soon as possible and is seeking the Prime Minister's help. Demand for gold from Indian consumers has plummeted in the last 12 months, with soaring gold prices and as a result of the economic slowdown. But in this time, consumption in China rose by 13.8%. The Chinese government has in recent months encouraged consumers here to invest in gold and silver. Officials in Beijing have also increasingly pressed the government to put more of the country's vast financial resources in procuring assets, primarily gold and oil, and away from dollars. According to recently released statistics by China Gold Association, the estimated demand for gold touched 450 tons last year, up from 395.6 tons in 2008. Soaring gold prices have in part been driven by Chinese government's increasing appetite for the metal. China has been the world's largest gold producer since 2007, when the country overtook South Africa. China had an annual output of 282.5 tons in 2009, when production grew by 14.6%. This is Ravi Shankar reporting for SMR's India News Desk.
Eagle Plains Resources Limited and 99 Capital Corporation are pleased to release results from the 2009 exploration work on the Basker El Dorado property, located 55 kilometers southeast of Kamiko Key Lake Uranium Deposit in north-central Saskatchewan, Canada. As announced previously, Eagle Plains has agreed to sell a 100% interest in the property, less 1% NSR, to 99 Capital, while retaining the option to buy back a 50% interest. The focus of the $200,000 fall exploration program was to further delineate rare earth elements and uranium occurrences outlined in earlier field programs. Work was funded 100% by 99 Capital. This has been Sally Chavika for SMR News in the US.
The week's top stories and mining information. SMR News.
Sponsored by Westmoreland Flint, IQ Communications, Roddy Maker, Sewell, and Holness.